The member from Central Manchester made some unfortunate remarks last week. Very unfortunate. In his quest for headlines, he shouted and pontificated fake news. Since then, everyone who is associated with national security is calling him Mr. Fake News. But I don't support name calling. Mr. Speaker, I have no wish to embarrass or humiliate the young man from Central Manchester. So I'll only lay out the facts. But to be fair, it was not all gloom and doom. He made 2 points, which were worthy. He criticized me on the legislative agenda that we had planned. I concede our performance was not as robust as it should have been. On the matter of turning firearm holders into special district constables, during the consultation of the final draft of the proposal, the technical staff raised a number of questions. For example, whether they would fall under the remit of INDICOM. Further research and work is taking place. Mr. Speaker, these and other matters we thought the young man would have dived into because we are open to suggestions and ideas. Instead, he did not heed Dr. Phillips' advice to the students of UTEC. Keep away from selfish, narrow politics. End of quote. Mr. Speaker, I went on to try to score points. This first comment, and I quote him, last week, the American media pointed to many policy reversals and campaign promises. For example, 1, avoiding the use of military force in Syria. 2, labeling China a currency manipulator. 3, on the North Atlantic Treaty Organization being obsolete. End of quote. Mr. Speaker, what right does the member have to use the parliament to negatively comment on the internal affairs of a friendly country? Mr. Speaker, is it normal to use the parliament to attack and question in a subtle way? Is it normal? Is it normal to use the parliament to attack and question in a subtle way the President of the United States or any other leader? It is actually against established diplomatic protocol. It's also against the standing orders of this parliament. The United States is our biggest partner in national security. Why attack them? Mr. Speaker, why are we picking a quarrel with them? Mr. Speaker, have the member thought of the effect on the many Jamaicans living in the United States as a result of his loose comments? Mr. Speaker, comment number 2. He unfortunately and ill-advisably claimed that the DNA regulations were not crafted or published. The Jamaican Gazette of Friday, March 31, 2017, published the DNA regulations. And there's a copy on the screen. I do not wish to embarrass him. I'm just laying out the facts, destroying the fake news. With great fanfare, he stated, no DNA registry. Well, sir, what do you say now? Comment number 3. Mr. Speaker, the honorable gentleman claimed we have not spent billions as promised. On page 6 of his speech is an extract of the yellow book, which he held up the estimates of expenditure. The revised estimates showed at supplementary budget an increase by not 1, not 2, but over $3 billion. Yet he artfully left that out. Mr. Speaker, the money was used to purchase 2 ships and a plane. And the invoices are available and we can give him copies if he so desires. Comment number 4, the dogs. He well knows, Mr. Speaker, that we can only buy dogs from rabies-free countries. We must respect the process and laws of our partners. We cannot go and demand dogs or any other goods. We have to make the request and wait. He never placed an order for dogs. We have the money, we have the need, but we must be respectful of the laws of the country who are our partners. Comment number 5, Mr. Speaker. In his speech on page 7, his speech, at the very first line he left out a part of the sentence, and I quote, nor has the new 300-bed facility at Tamarind Farm been commissioned, end of quote. You know why he left that out, Mr. Speaker? I wonder if you can give permission to the member to tell us why we can't commission the new facility at Tamarind Farm. The former Minister of National Security just before me built the new wing. And I say congratulations to him. A beautiful building. well built. We can actually name it after him as it is. It has no sewage facility. This error has cost us an additional $40 million. That money could have bought more cars. Comment number 6. He claimed that the company which won the bid and was awarded by the National Contracts Commission to supply motor cars and pickups, O'Brien International Car Sales, did not import any motor vehicles. In the written speech, it says 2 years. In his verbal presentation, he said 5. Sir, the Trade Board has informed that O'Brien's in 2016 was issued with 27 permits and they used them. In 2015, 16 permits and they used them. 2014, 64 permits and they used them. And in 2013, 206 permits and they used them. In addition, the Ministry of Tourism knows this company very well, as it is qualified to receive duty concessions on motor cars for rental in the tourist industry. And O'Brien's has accessed this facility on more than one occasion. We have letters from the said ministry for May, June, and July of 2015. This company has imported cars, as these C-87 custom declaration forms can show, and these forms are from 2014 and 2015. Coincidentally, the price in the successful bid for the cars is $1.3 million. Comment number 7. He questions, where are the mobile stations? Mr. Speaker, the Ministry of National Security now follows the procurement guidelines. And we follow them to the spirit and to the letter. The mobile stations are now being built out right here in Jamaica. We're not importing them from anywhere, and they will be distributed soon. Comment number 8. The police rule book, let me tell you, Mr. Speaker, was published electronically and has been made available to the force members and indeed any member of the public who wish to examine the rule book. It has been available on the Jamaica Constabulary Force website under the resources section since August of 2016. Comment number 9. Mr. Speaker, he criticized me for calling thief, rapists and murderers dirty criminal. Mr. Speaker, will the member tell me what term should I use? What term better describe a thief and a murderer than dirty criminal? Mr. Speaker, I thought the gentleman would come here and thank this administration for paying the $309 million to the retired police officers who could not get paid during this administration. Mr. Speaker, I thought the honourable member from Central Manchester would be delighted for the officers who have seen 17 police stations repaired and their working conditions. I thought he would be ecstatic to know that we bought a brand new coaster bus for the Police Federation, a new bus for the hard-working staff at the ministry, 2,500 ballistic helmets, 3,000 ballistic vests, 250 motorbike helmets, 800 beds, $15 million spent on district constable uniforms, 100 combat boots for our ladies, 50 mobile radios, $22 million used to purchase raincoats, 6 generators, fire extinguishers. Mr. Speaker, we must not use national security to push our partisan political agenda. I remain, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, remain hopeful that the young man regrets his actions and will do better in his next portfolio. Mr. Speaker, I want to congratulate the delegates of the PNP because they did not vote for that Peter. than fake news he has on Facebook. I hope he puts the truth on Facebook now. I won't put it. I will give him the opportunity to be a gentleman once in his life. People have the tools to join the fight against crime. The government has invested the resources necessary. We have increased recruitment in the JDF and the JCF, Immigration and the Correctional Service. We have modernized the forensic lab, built out the DNA registry. We intend to target guns, gangs, and lottery scamming. We'll be writing a drone policy. We have purchased 2 ships and a plane for greater border security. We are targeting unattached youths, especially the boys. We will be upgrading police stations. We will continue to increase the mobility of the force. Mr. Speaker, we are taking terrorism seriously. We will continue our investment in the intelligence network. We have introduced facial recognition software in the passport application process. We will repair and upgrade our prisons. We will increase social intervention programs. We will continue to build partnerships locally and internationally. We have a clear path, Mr. Speaker. The good people of Jamaica can be reassured that we take their safety and security seriously. We are investing the resources, utilizing technology, building partnerships. We urge every citizen to be a partner for safety and security. I call on all Jamaicans to become active in community organizations. Let us recapture our neighborhoods. Let us take back the space from criminals. Let us build a society that turns its back on corruption and criminality. Mr. Speaker, we have laid the foundation. And as the song says, we know where we are going. We know. Joy bells are ringing. Jamaicans are singing. Yes, Mr. Speaker, we know where we are going because we are going from poverty to prosperity. If it so pleases you, Mr. Speaker. Well done, boy. Thank you, sir. You're not come shake me.
Bobby.